Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What I have for today, guys, is a response video to the Metal Tag 2024. I've always seen these pop up in recent years. Normally they're done by the Rock Scout, where he compiles 20 questions of random questions about metal releases or albums, etc. And you just kind of do a response video based on your answers. He wasn't able to do it this year, but it was kept alive by the guys over at the Heavy Metallurgy. And I guess Metal Mickey also helped add some questions and stuff as well. So let's jump right in, guys. There's 20 questions. I thought this year for fun I would check it out and do a response video, just out of curiosity to see what my responses would be. I pulled a bunch of CDs here for the questions, where it asks to show an album or whatever. So let's jump right in, guys. At number one, name a release that you're eagerly anticipating in 2024. The first album that came to my mind for this one was Agalok. They don't have any confirmed dates or anything at this moment, but they recently reunited last year. And, they've been rumored to have been working on new material and hopefully have a new album out this year. But in terms of bands that have confirmed dates, obviously Priest, Saxon next week has a new one, Lucifer, High on Fire. There's some really good titles already announced this year that I want to get. But in terms of my most anticipated, I'd say Agalok if it does happen, but nothing confirmed as of yet. And at number two, Chinese New Year 2024, the Year of the Dragon. Show off an album that inspired by or containing a dragon on the cover. And my cat wants down. Sorry guys, put him down. So the first one that came to mind for this one, I couldn't really think of an album that had like a dragon in the theme, but on the cover, the band Dragon Sway. Really good heavy metal band. They're a combination of members from Japan and I believe Norway. So an international band, really cool stuff, really cool artwork. Traditional heavy metal, great shredding guitars. Definitely check these guys out if you haven't heard them, really good stuff. And at number three, what was your favorite album that you acquired in 2023? The first one that came to mind was from my last haul, the newest one from Asphyx, Necrocera, so Necrostasis. My favorite album from 2021. Definitely check this out if you haven't heard. It's a beast of an album. It was, like I said, it was my favorite from that year. Really cool stuff. Great doom death metal band. And I purposely didn't pick a release from 2023 because, you can just see those on my year-end list. So I've tried to pick up an album that I finally picked up on physical copy this year. And this one is, I'm probably the most happy to finally have in my collection. And number four, was there a title in 2023 that you were satisfied to purchase digitally, not on physical media, and why? So this question didn't really apply to me because I never buy digital copies of anything, to be honest. So I don't think I've ever bought anything just strictly digital. If there's an album I really want, I just buy the physical copy if it's available. But there's never been an album where I'm like, I'll just buy it on digitally. I don't see the point of doing that because you can just stream it online for free anyways. Why pay for a digital copy? I know it's to support the band, but I'll just buy a physical copy if I'm going to do that. And normally the price difference between buying it digitally and like a cheap CD version or something is only a couple dollars difference anyways. So I don't understand why you'd buy digital to start with, but so that didn't really apply to me. And the next one here, show an album that musically doesn't match the cover art. This was kind of tricky for me. I couldn't really think of anything right off the top of my head, so I was kind of just looking through my CDs up here. And I decided to grab this one here, Deftones, Koi no Yoken, an album released a number of years ago. Looking at the album cover, if you didn't know the band, you might think it's like a EDM record or maybe even a pop electronical kind of record. It's very like kind of a modern artwork on the front. But obviously, if you know how Deftones sound, they're very still really heavy. They have like a different kind of sound to them. But when I look at this album cover, the first thing that I think of is like more of a, I don't know, like an electronica kind of band or dance kind of thing maybe. So that's one I could really think of that kind of stood out to me, kind of flipping through my albums. So I came up with that. And who is the metal artist you own the most items by? I think it would have to be Iron Maiden. Just based on the fact that they have so many studio albums and actually have all their whole catalog in my collection. I think they have 17 studio albums in total. I have a few of their live albums on top of that. I have like 3 or 4 t-shirts from them. I think a couple patches. So I think that was the one I could think of that had the most. There's some other bands that have like a big discography that I have most of their albums, but not quite that many, like 17 plus all the other items. So I'd have to say Maiden overall. And number 7, show an album that you blind bought in 2023. So for that one, I went with this one here called Hollyside, and the album's called Fist to Face. Really cool artwork. It looks super thrash. I was making a buy on CD and records to pick up a specific couple other albums I just really wanted to buy, and I came across this. It was like $10 or $8 or something, and the artwork really sold me. It just looked super thrashy, and it pretty much was really good thrash album. And definitely check these guys out if you're not familiar. Really, really good stuff. And number 8, show a title that you own on more than one format. Honestly, I'm pretty much a CD guy. I do own a very small collection of vinyl, I think like 25 or 30. So pretty much everything I do have on vinyl, I also have on CD. So I just grabbed one to show as an example. Pretty much my second favorite album of all time, from my favorite band of all time, Opeth, Blackwater Park. It's on CD. And I got the great vinyl here, matte finish. Let me open it up here for you guys. Got the cool gatefold, nothing too much on the inside, just the scenery, whatever. But yeah, always been one of my favorite albums. 180 gram copy as well. Track listing on the back. Super happy to have that. But like I said, I pretty much decided very shortly after starting to buy a couple of records that I was going to stick to CDs. Economically, it just made more sense and to take up space and stuff. So I just kind of stuck with CDs going forward. I didn't really continue buying albums or vinyl. And number 9, it says Bookworm. Show off a release conceptually inspired by literature. This is kind of a low-hanging fruit, but I'm sure one that a lot of people thought of right away. Mastodon Leviathan, obviously from Moby Dick, the story everyone knows. So I just kind of went with an easy one for this one and grabbed one right away. And I had my Mastodon kind of CDs out already recently because I did a ranking of the albums for them less than a week ago. So I just kind of grabbed that to show. And number 10, name a band that you would travel a considerable distance to see live in 2024. There's a couple bands that came to mind for this, kind of bands I've never seen yet. For some reason, every time they come, I either didn't have the cash or the timing was wrong or I had to work or whatever. And the first band that came to my mind is Rammstein. I've seen live videos of them online and they put on a killer live show. I've always wanted to see them live. And the other band, it was AC/DC. I'm really hoping they have 1 or 2 more tours in them before they unfortunately pass. They are getting older. So I'm really hoping they come around to my area at least once more and I'll make sure I go see them. Their shows always look so killer and full of energy and everyone just is really into it. So those are kind of the 2 bands that came to my mind right away. And the next question, number 11, Sour Grapes, show a 2023 release that you enthusiastically purchased but eventually lost interest. I don't think I pulled anything for this. But I guess the one that comes to my mind right away would be my most disappointing album of the year, which was the new Evil. That one I was really looking forward to when it first came out, and then I lost interest in it almost right away. It just didn't connect with me as I thought it would. So I didn't pull a copy of it, guys. I can't remember where I had it, but yeah, that's probably the one I picked for that. I'll just put a picture of it on the screen here. And the next question, The Golden Child. Name an artist that you feel can do no wrong. Easily for me. Actually, I'm going to put a different band just to change it up. I'm going to say Testament. My favorite thrash band of all time. And in my opinion, they don't have a bad album. Every album they put out is a banger. Thrash Masters, they're like I said, my favorite thrash band of all time. And they should be easily one of the big four. I think their discography as a whole is way better than any band in the big four, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the band, for my opinion, can do no wrong. And one second here. Number 13, Overstayed Welcome. Name a band that you wish would have called it quits when they were ahead. First band that came to my mind for this was Kiss. I think they kind of peaked, honestly, a long time ago, and they just kind of milked it for everything it's worth, and now they have this like Avatar bullshit and like different band members wearing their makeup and stuff. Like, it's just getting ridiculous at this point. It's just a cash grab for them, and they should have quit like a long time ago, to be honest with you guys. Really good band. Even the last couple releases were pretty decent, but I think they should have hung it up like back in the 90s or something. I think they kind of overstayed their welcome, to be honest. And show a band or release that you bought in 2023 as a direct result of watching someone's YouTube channel. I don't think I haven't really had a chance to buy as much in 2023 as I usually would like. I didn't have the funds to buy as much physical copies. I'm hoping this year's a little bit better. I don't think I bought anything specifically from watching like a YouTuber that really heavily suggested a band, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to check that out. But the one thing that really came to my mind was this release here, the second release from Dabahi, entitled Thrash for Justice. Just from seeing them kind of promoted on the CD and Records channel that I follow, they popped up a few times when the album was coming out, and I'm like, yeah, the sound looks like really good thrash, and it kind of made me want to buy the album. So as soon as it became available, I bought it right away. Really good album. It was in my top 10 of the year. I think it was just at number 10. But killer thrash album from Pakistan. Definitely check these guys out if you're not familiar. So I guess that's kind of best suits for me. And let me see here. Number 15, show us an otherwise good album that ends up suffering from being too long. That one, I went with the latest Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. I think it's a pretty solid album, some really good tunes on here. But why they decided to put the longest songs all at the end, there's like 2 10-minute songs and like a 10 or 12-minute song at the end. And it just kind of makes it drag at the end. It feels too long. And they could have definitely edited down either the last couple songs to be much shorter and shaved off about 5 to 10 minutes at the end. The intros are way too long and songs at the end and their songs in general now. I think they could have edited this album down to be a single album and it would have been a lot better. But the way how bands are nowadays to make everything a double album just to get the sales numbers up. But otherwise, a really good album. I do listen to it quite a bit still, but I think it's just too long. And show your favorite band t-shirt. I don't really have a favorite band t-shirt, to be honest with you. I just kind of have what I have. So I'll just kind of show, I got this Opeth shirt back in a heavy metal festival in Toronto, like Christ, I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago. I still wear it all the time. Just one of my favorite band of all time, so I wear it quite a bit still. So I'll just show what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing really, it's not really a shirt I have that's my favorite of all time. Share a band that you have been around, that have been around for at least 24 years and you think are still going strong, creatively relevant, etc. First band that came to my mind was Saxon, actually. They don't get enough love. The last 4 or 5 albums have been masterpieces, and the new album next week, actually, I'm really looking forward to, and I'm going to review that one for you guys as well. But yeah, Saxon's been killing it. Biff's vocals sound amazing, just as good as they were 30 years ago, and they don't get enough recognition, in my opinion. Of course, Maiden and Priest are still doing really well, but yeah, Saxon, I think, needs some love in this question, and I think they're killing it. And share your favorite band mascot. Of course, the easy one to pick would be Iron Maiden, Eddie, but actually my favorite's always been Snaggletooth by Motorhead. I always loved that image. Really suits the band. Really badass looking. Eventually, I might even get a tattoo of it because I love Motorhead that much. It's just killer. And yeah, that's one of the first ones that came to my mind. Very iconic album artwork that everyone knows, and references to the band. So that kind of came to my mind right away. Number 19, grab bag. Share a random pull from your collection, no peeking. So I just pretty much have my albums stacked up on the floor here. I'm still waiting to get some shelving behind me here to finally put them up. So I just kind of went through one of the piles and slipped one out at a random thing. And the one I grabbed was this, Pounder, Breaking the World. Kind of local to me here in Ontario, Canada. They're like a traditional heavy metal band, really good stuff. Definitely check them out if you're not familiar. But this is kind of what I pulled out. I think I have like 2 of their albums in total, but really good stuff. If you're not familiar, definitely check these guys out. Really good stuff. And show an album from a metal band that others may not consider metal. So I just kind of went with an easy one because I listen to these guys all the time. The band is my favorite band, Opeth, and I just went with one of their more recent releases, Pale Communion. They're a metal band for sure, but you could pick any of their last like 4 or 5 releases, have been more down in the vein of prog rock. The new albums are not really metal at all anymore. They're definitely more in the vein of the 70s, kind of traditional prog rock sound with like a modern kind of production twist on it. I still love their sound, still my favorite band of all time. Takes you on a journey still, but just in a different way. But yeah, killer stuff still, just not really metal anymore, just progressive rock, sorry. Okay guys, so those are my responses to the Metal Tag 2024. Let me know down below what you thought of the picks and what your responses would be to the questions as well. Or if you have a video that you've made for the response, please link it down below in the comments so I can check it out. And thanks for watching guys, and stay tuned for more content coming up in the next couple days, and keep it metal.